Happy holidays, Mr. Moses from the Virgin Islands. Okay, so in this extra credit video, we will ask what is more important, interpersonal, small group, or public speaking? To me, definitely interpersonal is more important than any of them, actually. Simply because, and I think we discussed this, I think this is the whole point of the topic of communication when we did talk about interpersonal and intrapersonal. But it's that connection. You know, because of technology, it might be a tad bit less, appreciated, or you know, definitely is done. No one's interpersonal anymore, but it's definitely the connection and the sincerity and the genuine emotion you get from being face to face with someone and talking to them. You know, reacting to their reactions and opening up and feeding off of each other. You know, to me, there's no way you can make a connection with one person if you can't make you know if you can't make a connection with that one person. I'm sorry, you can't make a connection with a room full of people. You might be a good public speaker, but what are you saying that no one else can say? Because as far as anybody else in the crowd, you're just public speaking, and you should be able to come off the stage and answer questions or talk to someone on the side about what you really said. And I think no way possible to public speaking or small group speaking or anything be more important than interpersonal. To accomplish goals as a communicator, to follow ethical standards. Um, I guess it connects it. If I had to bend the truth, omit an unpleasant idea, or to lie to accomplish my goal, um, I can't help but think about my job. I work as a sales clerk in a boutique here, local boutique, and there are times the customer doesn't need to know everything. You know, I think, and that's the whole idea of sales or that kind of field, because there's just some things that's not necessary, and your goal is to get the job done, to make a sale, or when a car seller is selling a car, he's not gonna tell you all the bad things, period. And that's kind of like the news. They don't need to tell you everything. They tell you what they think is most important. Or do some of them, you know, sometimes take up personally. A few people might think they do need to know, definitely, but at the same time, like we talked about bias, they're trying to focus on one thing, or they may be biased for all we know, but as far as they're concerned, there's just some things you don't need to know. The government does that. There's just some things, it's a matter of what you don't know won't hurt you. Is there some things, ethical standards that you can ignore? Definitely. When it comes to ethical standards, to me, I was raised that if you have to question it, if you have to ask yourself, is this wrong? 10 to 1 it is. But if it wasn't wrong, you wouldn't even worry about it. So 10 to 1, if it's that, I think, I mean, when you say a word like ethics, like, ethical standards, I think you definitely should tell the truth. I can't think of a situation where you would let your job or anything get in the way of you being ethical. That's crazy to me. Is there some things you don't need to say? Definitely. But if it's a matter of morals and, ethics and stuff like that, be honest. That's just my thing. I honestly cannot see any reason why someone would lie about anything personal or important like that. But definitely, I've been in situations where sometimes you do have to omit the truth. You don't have to tell the customer everything. You don't have to tell the world everything. Um, Definitely to accomplish your goal. That's where I got the idea of sales from. But yeah, as it being an unpleasant idea, and I've learned this. I hope I'm in marketing. I'm studying, my field is marketing, and I'm hoping to get into this even more about why, some things when something is unpleasant to you or bothers you, why you don't have to say it. But I've been in situations where, it's just, even though it bothers you, sometimes you have to put your job first and know that that's your job. This is what you're here for. You're not there to be an information specialist and fill in everybody about every little detail. Is that important sometimes? Yes. But if that's not your job detail, sometimes you have to put your ethics aside, your morals aside for your job. However, if it's right in your face, something that you can't, that will backfire, I can't see why you would lie about it. And I guess that's kind of a sticky situation, and I guess that's something, people have to train for. Some people just really have to look into it, and that's what I said. That's one thing I'd love to figure out in marketing and sales. When do you put it aside and say, this is my job, this is what I have to do, but this is wrong. So, maybe there are some things that you just have to say, but there are definitely some things you don't have to say. So, well, I think that's it. So don't bend ethical standards. Nope. And yeah, sometimes it's okay to leave out every little detail. Bend the truth just a little bit, but not to the fact that it changes your story. But that's it for me. Thank you for the extra credit opportunity and happy holidays.